Hi guys, James at Rampant Lion Reviews again for you today. For this one, we are going to do another little out and about video. So I am in Žitnjak in the kind of southeastern part of Zagreb in Croatia, and we're going to have a little look at Pulfer Brewery today. So yeah, we'll do as we always do. We'll go in, we'll have a little look around, we'll taste some of the beers and see what's going on here. But yeah, these guys, from what I've heard, are very much a kind of up and coming Croatian brewery doing some very experimental styles and stuff like this. So yeah, we'll go in, we'll meet some of the guys and we'll see what's going on here at Pulfer Brewery. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. Let's get started. Alright guys, so let's have a little walk around then here at Pulfer Brewery. So my friend actually told me that these guys had a tap room at the brewery, but it turns out that this isn't the case. But yeah, I was invited in to have a few beers and things, and I was told I was allowed to film wherever I like, so this was very, very cool of them. So yeah, let's walk in and we'll have a little look at what's going on. So when you come in, you're greeted by many different malt bags and things like this. But yeah, you can see the brewery here, and Gina is over there working his magic. And yeah, from what I gather, these guys brew around 120,000 litres of beer per year. They're at the stage now where they want to expand their capacity a little bit more. Yeah, they just need more fermentation tanks and things like this. But yeah, it's a very kind of small operation, as they say, but yeah, it's very, very cool. So you can see over here they have some of the different artwork and things on the wall, which is very, very cool. Death by IBU, that's a beer that I would be very, very keen to try. Double West Coast IPA. Cyberpunk, you know, this one would be very cool as well. The Bundelweiss, which is one of their classics. But here you can see the Pulfer Brewery symbol. So Pulfer, it looks a little bit like a frog to me, but apparently this is the sort of coupling that you'll find on the Zagreb trams, and people apparently used to just stand on this and ride their way along the city. So you used to get basically free transport on the Zagreb trams. But yeah, they've got a few hot pellets and things in here, and then when you come through here, you've got the guys working away in the office, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I've been sitting tasting some beers over here, and the guys want to say hello. So yeah, that's a little walk round of the Pulfer Brewery. So let's get started on some tastings. Alright guys, so yeah, I'm joined by Ozrun, who's one of the owners here at Pulfer Brewery in Zagreb in Croatia. And yeah, it turns out they don't have a tap room, contrary to what my friends told me here. But yeah, I was invited in and we'll have a little look around and taste a couple of beers. They've got some really quirky things here which I think should be quite interesting. So yeah, Ozrun, thank you for inviting me in when I was standing outside looking very sweaty. Yeah, could you introduce you picked out this beer for us to try first?
The first one is Don Banana. It's the Imperial Pastry Hefeweizen. Fermented. It's fermented on banana puree, and then we put tonka beans and cocoa nibs. Yeah, very, very, very strong taste and smell. I think you probably smell it already, but put it on your nose.
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah guys, I have to say, this is definitely one of the most random beers I've ever heard of. An Imperial Pastry Hefeweizen. This is pretty cool. This is pretty random. So yeah, and look at the artwork. That's pretty awesome as well actually, yeah. So, will we have a little look at that? So as you can see, it looks pretty much just as you would expect from a Hefeweizen. Lovely kind of hazy, sort of slightly amber colour this one. Aroma wise, yeah. That's pretty awesome. I love tonka beans.
Tonka beans, yeah.
I love these. But yeah, I always find, you know, Hefeweizens are really lovely and smooth and creamy, but this one just has that even more of a candied element to it. So think like a Hefeweizen, but with
muscles.
With muscles, exactly. So you get lots of the tonka bean out of this one, absolutely. And you've got this big like candied bubblegummy sort of note to it as well, almost. I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, you've got all the usual fruits, like, you know, like apricot, banana, maybe a little bit of pear as well, actually. You've got all of this with it, and you've got that nice grassy, kind of floral, bright thing, I think, that you expect of a Hefeweizen too. It's awesome. Yeah, we'll have a wee taste. Yeah, Zureli, yeah. That's very good. It's really good. I think it's really smooth, actually. It feels like quite clean and slick. Yeah. What do you think is the most kind of prominent? What do you think about this one? How would you describe the flavour of this one?
I didn't know anything about tonka beans when we were talking about this beer. Yeah? So the tonka beans is something that blew my mind in this.
Oh
beer.
yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't know what to expect. So yeah, tonka beans is here as the main character. As I like a lot of Hefeweizens, so we have a Hefeweizen in production. I'll give you one.
Ah, okay.
So you can try our regular Hefeweizen. And we were talking about, let's put some banana puree in Hefeweizen because they have a banana taste. Yeah. So a lot of bananas and a lot of flavor from tonka beans. It's something that I really enjoy in this one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I mean, this is really nice. I mean, what I usually do when I'm tasting the beers, like I look at like the middle of the palate, the back, and the sort of front. So I think for me, like backbone of this beer, you get that, you know, lovely, just big, thick, kind of white red.
A lot of thickness, silkiness, full mouth beer. It's not something that you can drink 7 or 10 beers, but it's something that you have a mouthful.
Yeah, I think it's got this lovely big, just big smooth thing. I mean, before I used to live in Germany, and then before I went to Germany, I could drink like quite a few Hefeweizens, but after going there, these became more like a tasting beer for me. I think. Big Imperial Stout or something like that. I kind of think of Hefeweizens in the same way now.
I like Hefeweizen because I can drink it.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. See, when I just got really into Helles and Dunkel. That's kind of what happened to me. But guys, this is lovely. I mean, Hefeweizen, I think it's almost a little bit of a kind of forgotten style. So if you can do things like this with it, I think that's a.
Can you wait a moment? I can put our Helles in freezer so you can try it.
Oh sure, yeah, why not? Yeah.
For seconds.
All right, we're back. So yeah, like we're saying, the beer has this lovely, big, smooth, bready, and sort of silky base to it. I think like in the very middle of the palate, you can feel the tonka beans. I think the tonka beans, you feel that sort of smooth, fibrousy sort of thing from the tonka beans, and then you get the sweeter like banana, the sweeter banana stuff kind of further forward, and then further back you get a little bit of that dryness from the cocoa nib.
Yep.
So yeah, I always find it's almost a little bit thing. You always think cocoa nib's chocolate, and you're like, why is the beer not dark? It's a
completely different.
Kind of strange thought, this one. But guys, I'm going to say this. This is the first time I've ever heard of a pastry Hefeweizen. It works. It does work. I think Pulfer are onto something here. So you might see if these kind of beers make it outside of Croatia a little bit more, I think you might see a good few breweries that specialise in these kind of, you know, modern sour beers and pastry stouts and stuff. They might have a go at this themselves. I think this is really cool, actually. So this is awesome to come to. This brewery is, you know, way outside of Zagreb. What about 6 k's, something like that, 6 kilometers.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's worth it coming to visit quite random places. Yeah, this is awesome. Hoppy wise, it's what you'd expect. I think like 10, 15 IBUs, something like that. You know, a little bit floral, a little bit grassy, fruity side of things. You've got a bit of that bubblegummy candy sort of thing, the usual banana, apricot. I think there's a wee bit of like a slightly lemony citrus right on the front of the tongue too. But yeah, guys, this is pretty awesome actually. This is a really, I didn't think you know, at the start of the day, did I think I'd be trying an Imperial pastry Hefeweizen? No, this is pretty cool. So yeah, this is the Don Banano. Yeah, Don Banano, 7% ABV. So yeah, no, Ozzy, thanks for joining us for this tasting. But I have to compliment you on the artwork and just the randomness of the beer, the inventiveness. That's really cool. Yeah, awesome. Cool. Right. Alright guys, so yeah, something else I thought was very cool, these little beer crates that Pulfer Brewery have. Like you saw in the video, they started kind of home brewing back in 2016, brewing as gypsy brewers, but yeah, they have these lovely little beer crates of their own. You see these quite often throughout Germany and Austria, but very cool that Pulfer have these at such an early point in their history. So yeah, really surprised to see these so early on. Alright guys, well, let's do another little tasting then here at Pulfer Brewery. So I just got handed a few cans to have a little look at, so we'll have a look at one or two of these. So the first one that we're going to have a look at out of these is their lager. So this is part of their core range. It's a Munich Helles, 5.5% ABV. Looks very nice. Once again, it is done in the proper way, a half-litre can. So yeah, let's crack this guy open and see how we go. I do love a good Munich Helles, so looking forward to this for sure. Oh, this looks really good. Right, there we go. There you can see the pour. That's awesome. I love these glasses as well. Just look at that, Pulfer, the little frog. It's nice. So yeah, I've not poured that all that well, I have to say. But yeah, the beer looks very nice. You can see, lovely little bit of active head. I think the can was a little bit solid when we opened it up, but that happens when you've got beer in cans. But you can see a lovely two-finger, frothy kind of cream coloured head. Yeah, it looks great. So you've got that lovely kind of pale golden straw colour, one or two big bubbles sticking toward the side of the glass, a few little things going up toward the bottom of the head there. Yeah, you can see it's got a good little bit of that unfiltered haze type character to it. It looks pretty much as you would expect from a nice Munich Helles from one of the Brauhouses. Let's just put a little bit more in and we'll take a wee look at the aroma. So, aroma then, yeah, pretty much as you'd expect. You've got that lovely little bit of kind of fresh bread crust underneath. You have fresh white bread in there, a little bit of McVitie's digestive biscuity character for sure. Yeah, a nice little bit of a kind of, yeah, you've got a nice little bit of earthiness in there too. But mainly the green component on the hops for me is quite floral and quite aromatic. This is very fresh. You can kind of still smell some of the dustiness from the hops. Yeah, you can tell this beer is very, very fresh, but it's obviously quite active in the can. But yeah, this really goes together well. As I say, bread crust, white bread, quite crisp white bread I would say, a little bit of a McVitie's digestive biscuity sort of thing, and then you've got the hoppy character on top of that. There's a little bit of earthiness, nice floral note, bit of grassiness, everything you'd want. On the fruity side of things, this beer, it's got a little bit of, it does have a nice little bit of the fruity side of this beer is really cool. It's got a little bit of a kind of, it's got a little bit of a sort of apricot-y note to it. You get a little bit of that sultana type thing and a little bit of an oily pear. I'm going to say straight away, it's a very nice smelling Helles, maybe a little bit drier than some of the other ones that I've come across. You do get a little bit of dryness from the malt and the hops in this one, and like I say, the hops, it smells very fresh, so you still get a little bit of that dusty hop character from the pellets. But yeah, everything you would want from the style. Let's have a taste of it and see how we go. So this beer is simply called Lagerica, 5.5% ABV. It is their Munich style Helles beer. Let's have a taste of this. Slange, skål, cheers, as they would say in Croatian, Zivjeli, if I've pronounced that right, probably not. Anyway, let's taste this. Oh yeah, that's really nice. I'm going to say straight away, this beer really leans toward that sort of kind of grassy, It really leans toward that kind of grassy but still quite smooth end of the Helles scale. I really like how this goes together. Awesome beer. Yeah, so the backbone of this beer then, in the middle third of the palate, lovely little bit of fresh bread crust, absolutely. You find that, then on top of that you're getting the nice kind of crisp, you're getting that nice little bit of a kind of crisp, but still quite fluffy, fresh white bread. That goes together really nicely in this one. Yeah, this is really nice actually. On the Helles scale, as I say, nice and smooth and bready, but it still gives you a little bit of that hoppy bite. It's solid. I mean, you've seen what these guys are doing. We've reviewed one of the sour beers so far, and it's been really good. I've really enjoyed that. So to try something that's a bit more conventional, this kind of lets you see that at the other end of things, maybe the less experimental side of the beer, this kind of shows you that they are very capable brewers, which is awesome. So, yeah, I think in the middle third of the palate you start to get a little touch of biscuitiness out of this beer the further you go into the aftertaste. In the back corners of the palate, there's a little bit of earthiness in there. And as you move further forward, it gives you a little bit of a herbal character, and as you push forward, you've got a nice little bit of floral aromaticity as well, which is really good. Round the front curve of the palate, the beer is definitely a little bit lighter and more grassy and things, and yeah, but you do get a nice little bit of bitterness out of this Helles. It's a lovely Munich Helles beer. This, you could easily tan a few of these for sure, no questions about that. Front third of the palate. The base of the beer again is sort of soft and quite bready. On top of that, there's a little bit of a kind of sultana type thing to it. You've got a little bit of, you do have a nice little bit of, you've got a little bit of that kind of dry apricot note. Then as you push further forward, it's more of an oily pear, and you get a little bit of that kind of fresh green apple just behind the very front tip of the tongue there. So yeah, this beer gives you everything you would want from the Munich Helles style lager beer. I really like this. Very solid beer within the style. In terms of mouthfeel, just to round off, yeah, in terms of mouthfeel, I would say that this one, in terms of mouthfeel, top end of light bodied, smooth carbonation, but it does have a wee bit of crispness to it as well. It feels quite nice and clean for sure. Then on the malty side of things, you've got a lovely bit of breadiness to it. So it is actually a little bit dry in its malt base. So it's one of these kind of more drier, bready type Helles beers. IBU wise, I think it's a fairly standard sort of 20-ish IBU. And then on the fruity side of things, it's got a little bit of oiliness to it, but kind of dry and fruity as well. But yeah, this is a lovely Munich Helles beer, this one. The Lagerica, 5.5% ABV, a little bit stronger I think as well, because usually these beers are like 4.5 to 5, if I remember correctly. But that doesn't do it any harm. It's a very nice Helles lager, this one. So it gets a big thumbs up from me. So yeah, that's another tasting for you here at Pulfer in Zagreb. Catch you guys in a second with another one.
So yeah guys, as you can see, they already have their Pulfer Brewery vans here, which are pretty cool I have to say. So you might see these driving around Zagreb. Yeah, pretty cool. As I say, Pulfer Brewery refers to the coupling that you'll see on the back of the Zagreb trams.
Alright guys, well, time for another tasting then here at Pulfer Brewery. So the next beer we're going to have a look at is one that's very kind of fitting for the time. So I'm here for you in the beginning of June 2022. This is a beer that they made to support the war, to support the Ukrainians and the war in Ukraine. So this one is called Beer Not Bombs. It's a New England Pale Ale, 5.4% ABV. Again, beautiful artwork on this beer, I have to say. I really like how this appears as well. You know, This is one of the things, whenever you try beers from a new brewery that you don't know so well, it always kind of comes down to things, if you've got the choice, it always comes down to things like the artwork or the name or whatever. But yeah, I really like this one, you know, fuck Putin. I think most people, most sensible people in the world can't agree with that. But yeah, 5.4% New England Pale Ale, this one. Beautifully presented beer. Once again, it is a half litre. So yeah, the Croatian's doing it right. Let's get this guy out and we'll have a wee look at the beer. So, yeah, just let you see the pour this time. I forgot about that when we were looking at the Helles. So yeah, this looks very, very nice. Let me just sugar it up a wee bit. And yeah, we'll get some of the haziness out of this beer. Oh, you can smell the lovely hoppy character in this right away. Yeah, this is going to be quite nice. There's something just familiar about the fruitiness of this beer. I'm sure we'll be able to get that in a second. But appearance-wise, as you can see, this beer has a lovely, very bright golden colour. It almost looks like some of the German Brauhaus Helles beers that I've tried before. It's very much like that. One or two big bubbles sticking toward the bottom of the glass, a few little ones going up towards the bottom of that head there, and as you can see, this beer is poured with a little bit more than a finger of a frothy, I would say, perfect white head. The beer itself looks very, very nice, I have to say. I like how this one goes together, for sure. Nothing surprising about what this one is giving you when you consider that it is a New England Pale Ale. So level of haziness on this one, of course, it's not the soupiest and gloopiest of New Englands that you're going to come across, but at 5.4% you wouldn't expect it to be. There is no real rule about how hazy these beers can be. Remember, the haze in the New Englands depends on the oak content, wheat content, and to a degree the yeast as well, but yeah, there's no real rule about how hazy one of these beers would be in terms of its ABV. But yeah, looks the part for a New England Pale Ale, this one. Let's put a wee bit more of it into the glass. And we'll have a look at the aroma then. We'll get it a bit closer to the nose, should we say. Yeah, so aroma wise, yeah, this beer, it's, for me, it's one of the more kind of barley malt leaning New England Pale Ales I've come across. Little bit of fresh bread crusty character, absolutely. Yeah, lovely big white bready notes out of it. Yeah, it's got quite a crisp, but it's kind of still quite fluffy, fresh, white bready character for sure. Yeah, you do get a little bit of the oatiness out of this one. There is a wee bit of the kind of wheaty bitiness on the back of the nose for sure. Yeah, a little bit of a... You do get a little bit of the oaty creaminess and oaty smoothiness in this one. But there's a wee bit of McVitie's digestive biscuit as well. Yeah, I always like this in the Pale Ales. I think Pale Ales are quite interesting because you can really see the different leanings of the beers these in this way. But this is really pretty interesting aroma-wise. I like it. It's very crisp and very smooth. It almost has a little bit of that German Brauhaus type smoothness about it, but you can certainly smell it is a New England Pale Ale. You can certainly smell that big juicy fruitiness that you expect of anything with the name, with New England in the name. So yeah, I think we can look at the hoppy side of things. Little tiny touch of earthiness, nice bright floral aromaticity, little bit of a lighter grassiness for sure. Remember, New Englands rely mainly on late addition hopping and dry hopping, not so much on early addition hopping. Early addition hopping gives you lots of bitterness, late addition hopping gives you a little bit of bitterness but mainly flavour and aroma, and dry hopping, it gives you completely flavour and aroma. So yeah, New England's rely on the latter two. West Coast IPAs have the latter two, but also have early addition hopping as well. Yeah, aroma wise, this is very, very good, I have to say. On the fruity side of things, definitely a little bit of a passion fruity note, that slightly stronger passion fruit, juicy mango, lighter apricots and pineapple, things like that. But I'm also getting a wee bit of a limey character out of this one. Yeah, it smells very familiar, maybe a little bit of Equinox, Motueka, something like that, paired up with Idaho 7 or, you know, Galaxy, Victoria's Secret, something along these lines. I'm not sure what hops are actually in this beer, but it goes together very, very nicely for sure. Yeah, lovely little bit of juiciness and things in this one for sure. Yeah, as I always say, take a bit of time to enjoy the aroma of the beer before you get stuck into it. But yeah, this is the beer, not bombs, 5.4% ABV, New England Pale Ale from Pulfer Brewery in Zagreb. Let's taste this. Slange, skål, cheers, Zaveli. Yeah, really nice beer, this one for sure. Just you know, it gives you everything you want from the style. It's very smooth and it's just easy to drink. Yeah, a thumbs up from me this. I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink this one again, that's for sure. But let's break it down and describe it for you a wee bit more in depth, as we always do. Yeah, so as I've said to you before, for me there are 6 ways you can go with a New England. You know, you can have the farmhousey yeasty character, the sort of rye leaning grainy side of things. Those are a bit more prominent in the American brewed New Englands. But then you can have wheaty bitiness, barley malt bread, the oaty creaminess, and also the sweet component. For me, this one is quite. It's balanced between the oaty side, the barley malt, and also the wheaty side of things. These are the 3 main elements coming out of this beer for me, and that's actually fairly common for a European brewed New England. This one for me, it leans toward that barley malt side of things. It's not overly bitey and it's not overly creamy. It's kind of a nice, more barley malt leaning beer, this one. So I like that. I do like that, because you can see within the pale ales, the idea with a pale ale is just to be nice and drinkable, but also a little bit hoppy and kind of punchy in a sense. And this beer achieves that. It does achieve that. So backbone of the beer, I should say. Sorry. Nice little bit of a fresh bread crusty sort of thing. Soft white bready character for sure. You know, that barley malt bread has a little bit of thickness to it and a little bit of fluffiness. You can feel the wheat kind of thickening that out, but there is a wee bit of oaty smoothness to this one as well. Yeah, you do have a little bit of that oaty creaminess right down the middle line of your tongue there, but not too much. It is more of a barley malt bread beer, this one, in my opinion. There's a tiny little bit of sweetness to this one, you know, like McVitie's biscuity type character to it, like McVitie's digestive biscuity notes, and that works as well. So yeah, this beer it shows you the depth of flavour you want, but it also has just that nice little bit of drinkability. On the back third of the palate, you can feel the bready notes are a bit bigger. You know, you've got that yeasty element coming in, 1 or 2 little crackery notes in the beer as well. But yeah, malty side of this is quite nice. Like I say though, quite a barley malt leaning New England Pale Ale, this one. On the hoppy side of things, back corners of the palate, a little bit earthy. As you come further forward though, it gets progressively more floral, and it ends up with quite a nice bright floral aromaticity to it. Round the front curve of the palate, a bit lighter and grassy, and it does have a wee bit of zestiness in there as well. Yeah, that goes together really nicely. On the front third of your palate, there's a little bit of white bread as well. At the back of that, bit of passion fruit, some nice juicy mango, a little bit of apricot and pineapple and so on. And then further forward, you've got a little bit of citrusy note to this one. There is a wee bit of kind of a lemony limey note. When I taste it, I wonder, you know, is it citra? Because it has that mango, but it also has a bit of that lemon limey zesty character to it, which you expect of that hop. So yeah, it's a really nice New England Pale Ale, this one for sure. Flavour wise, it gives you everything you want in the style, and it's just nice and drinkable, which is what you want from any Pale Ale, be it West Coast, black, whatever. Yeah, this is really solid actually. Mouthfeel wise, yeah, mouthfeel wise for me, this beer, nice and kind of bottom end of mid-bodied, maybe almost right in the middle of the spectrum with mid-bodied, smooth carbonation, a little bit creamy, there's a little bit of hoppy character for sure as well, and within that, so the mouthfeel for me, you can feel a little bit of the dustiness of the hops because it is quite fresh, but yeah, just it's quite a smooth beer, this one. We have to remember it's warmed up a wee bit as well since the guys brought it out of the fridge. But yeah, IBU wise, I think it's a standard sort of 20 IBU beer. The hoppy side of things with this one as well. Yeah, 20 IBUs. It's got a little bit of dryness there. The malt base is nice and smooth, a little touch creamy but a little bit dry, and then you've got a nice juicy fruity note to this. But yeah, this is a very nice New England Pale Ale. I'd be curious to try some of the heavier IPAs from these guys as well as the West Coasters. But yeah, the beer not bombs at 5.4%. This is a pretty awesome one actually. So yeah, let's leave it at that for this tasting. We're going to do another couple actually. So catch you guys in just a second.
So yeah guys, just a little look at some of the labels on the fridge here at Pulfer Brewery. This is pretty cool, I have to say. So yeah, there you go, pretty awesome.
Alright guys, so we are now joined as well by Gina, who is one of the co-owners and the main brewer. So yes, nice to have you along, and again, I'm sorry I just turned up randomly and did your work.
It's okay.
Yeah, but so Gina, you, Ozzy was telling me you guys started in 2019, and then COVID hit, so everything went. So you have a core range of beer, and you do all the experimental stuff as well.
Yeah, the special ones. Yeah.
The special ones. So yeah, can you tell me what got you interested in craft beer in the first place? Like, is there a beer that was enlightening for you that started everything off?
Hi guys. Yeah, actually I don't remember. What was the reason? I don't know. Maybe friends told me about some new special beers or some kind of hoppy beers, and I think that we tried one, and then we got, oh, this is really good. Like maybe we could do that, and yeah, actually we did it. Like it was like hobby, like home brewing, and then it came idea that we could actually do business with it, like side project.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and actually now we got the job, like real thing, real brewery.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So I mean, what did you guys, before you guys were in craft beer, what did you do? Like, what did you study? What did you train as?
Yeah, we all got all jobs. Yeah. But for me, for example, I was working in like a waiter in a restaurant, and some other jobs like I don't know, musician stuff. Don't matter now. And I had the degree in agriculture, in winemaking, and
oh, okay.
yeah. So like, it was like similar job like now. Like it's you have sugars, you have yeast, you have fermentation. Like it's not wine and grapes. It's like wort and hops. Like it was for me easy transformation from wine to the beer.
Oh yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, the fact that you had like this winemaking background, is that what's kind of pushed you? You've got a couple of sour beers and things like this. Is that what made you interested in?
No, it's like no.
No.
It's like more like fermentation. Yeah, I love the fermentation, alcohol fermentation, and yeah, maybe that's the reason why it was so easy to accept the idea that we could make a beer. Like yeah, home brewing, maybe we could make a real job, like a brewery.
Oh, okay.
Because the home brewing society wasn't strong in Croatia for a long, because it's maybe 10, 15 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in 2012, 13 was the first home brewing.
Yeah.
Something like that. So we are
not
young,
good in numbers.
We are a young community, so we didn't know that the beer can be homebrewed. Yeah. So when that came to Croatia and we heard about it, it was wow, let's do beer, because we all like to drink beer.
Oh yeah.
And when we did that, we tried to buy some different beers from the Europe and the rest of the world, and we tried it. Wow, this is cool. We want to do this, and that's how we went into beer.
Yeah, because I think Croatia is quite exciting. I think at the moment, because it's kind of like, for me, I'm Scottish and Swedish, so yeah, it's exciting because in Sweden we have about 10 million people, 850 little breweries, something like this. Scotland is about 5 million, sort of thing, and it's really cool to come to Croatia and see it from the pretty much from the beginning. Like when you come here, it's that you guys are kind of in this stage where you're sort of taking everything in and going with it, and it's really cool to see actually.
Yeah.
This is the beginning of the craft revolution in Croatia. Like not the beginning, but like 5, 7, 8 years. So it's still the beginning phase. Yeah.
It's like I think would you guys agree it's right to say with Croatia maybe you're at the point where the idea is here and people are starting to use the idea. I think that's maybe fair to say.
Yeah, we have around 100 breweries that opened in last 7 to 8 years. That's craft breweries, yeah. That's a big expansion in a very short period. We had only few breweries, mostly big breweries and only lagers. I didn't know anything about beers. You have a lager and you have a Weizen. You don't have anything else.
Yeah.
And then something black or
Porter stouts, yes.
Porter and stouts, yeah. But I didn't know anything about hop beers, saisons, sour beers. That's not something that we could even buy in Croatia. So now we.
Yeah, but that escalated very quickly. Like in 5 or 6 years, you could buy only, for example, IPAs. That was like the top of the craft here in Croatia. And now you can buy smoothie sours, extra fruited sours, fruited NEIPAs, triple NEIPAs, Imperial Stouts. Like we are catching the scene from the world in very quick. We catch the scene from the world in a very short period. Yeah, like we couldn't imagine that in 5 years that now we would have a smoothie sours or a Hefeweizen with pastry Hefeweizen with tonkas and vanillas and coconut. So yeah,
I mean, but this is the thing, and this beer that we've just tried, the Don Banano. This is, I've reviewed like 3,300 beers. Just sit down. I've never ever heard of an imperial pastry Hefeweizen before. So I mean, you guys are contributing to this growth of it. Yeah.
Well, we started in 2016, but in the last 3 years, we have moved here, and then we started like to be a real brewer, like experimented. Because few years we were having problems because we were gypsy brewing, contact brewing, so we didn't have open hands to experiment with some new kind of stuff, new pastry stuff, new beers. So in the last few years we tried to do as crazy as much as we can. So more crazy, that's like good. So we experimented with the ingredients and mixing the styles. For example, this is Hefeweizen, traditional German style, like from Reinheitsgebot. You cannot mix them, but we sliced the good parts from that and then added pastry style. We added spices. So we like to combine, experiment with that. And in last few years, we have done some crazy part in the Croatian craft scene, like expand the walls in your brains and experiment. I think that we have, we contribute to the craft scene in Croatia for like a lot, a lot. Because, for example, in last year we did the smoothies, the smoothie sours. And in this region, in Balkan, there's no brewery that do that stuff. Not in Croatia, like not in Slovenia, Bosnia, Romania, Serbia, Italy. There are no breweries. So everybody was so surprised. What are you guys doing? And now we are like famous for that because no one is doing that. It's something new. It's like fun stuff.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean,
did you try it?
Not yet. I think that's.
I think now is the perfect time to open the.
Let's have a little look at this one together then. I need to finish off this.
This is actually very good for. It's like a best rated beer in Croatia right now, according to Untappd.
Oh yeah. So let me just show this one again, guys. The artwork on this is beautiful. Can you tell us a little bit about the artist?
The artists are Jan Kamov duo They are from Rijeka, and we started doing designs with them around 7 months ago, 8 months, and they are just phenomenal. They're so easy, so we get the results so easy, and that you're always
it's their artwork. So it's like from internet, and you just use this font or this background, or I don't know. They like do it
from scratch.
From sketch. So it's their artwork, and we do really appreciate their work. It's unique.
Yeah, no, this it is pretty cool. I mean, and this is one of the things for me. If I see beers from a brewery I don't know, I'm like, all right, which one has the nicest artwork? Which one has the coolest name? So these stand out. So guys, I'll point out this is a half-liter can. This isn't the kind of 440 or 473 that you'll see in other places. In Croatia, they know how to do it. Half a liter. Half a liter. Yeah. But so this beer is called.
Smoothish is the series, but the name of this beer is
what day do chicken hate the most? We always, when we release new sours from the Smoothish series, we release the 2 beers in a few days. So for example, this one is called what day do chicken hate the most, and then 2 days or 3 days after this beer we release the next one, and it has the answer of this beer. For example, the second one, the beer was called Friday, like Friday. So it's like that joke. Bad that joke.
I like that.
We like that kind of humor because it's very stupid.
That's like Scottish people as well. We like dark humor. We like this too.
So this is a very special, not because it's a very good rated, but it has a lot of fruit, like more than half is real fruit, and it contains sweet cherries, peaches, and chocolate. Yeah. So you can pour it, but you can gently rotate just a little bit.
I'll let you prepare the beer.
Yeah, just to sediment go all around. And then open it.
Okay. Awesome.
So maybe you won't like it.
Oh, I know. I'm pretty sure. Well, I've had sour beers with chocolate and things in them.
It has like crazy purplish color.
Oh yeah.
It's very thick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pour it.
Well, I mean, guys, look at. Oh, yeah. I think it's okay. It's all right.
It's not so cold. We didn't call it enough.
Oh yeah. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. So guys, look at this. If we're thinking, this is very much akin to what Elma Livin in Malmö do. It looks very much like some of their beers. Like, I'll give you his.
Thanks. I'll pour it again.
Oh yeah. Thanks. I'll give you. There's a brewery in Malmö called Elma Livin who do this kind of beer. And I think that would be a really awesome collaboration for you guys, actually.
Yeah, there are a few more breweries in Europe that we are known of, and that will do similar things.
Oh yeah.
Like Omnipol or.
Oh yeah. No, I guess Omnipol are the ones who kind of sort of set this idea off. But this, I mean, guys, look at this. This is pretty much like like Burgundy. I'd say Burgundy, just big, thick, hazy glue. It looks absolutely lovely, this beer. We'll take a look at the nose. See? Oh yeah, I mean, you can smell like you get this little bit of you can smell the sort of the dry cocoa nibby kind of thing, I think. Yeah?
More like licorice chocolate, punchy. Chocolate with punch and.
I like that. Actually, the aroma's really nice. For me, I like the. For me, it comes. It's. I think the sort of dry coconut chocolate, and then the fruit comes out on top of that. It's really good. This is a lovely smelling beer. I can tell you, I got a little taste when the foam went crazy, and it's beautiful. It's very, very nice. When you take this in, it really It's very much. It's like if you. It's almost like if you kind of eat raw jam. It's very much like that. It's got that kind of intensity to it.
Yeah, we really wanted to make a thick structure, like when you eat the beer. Yeah, we didn't want to add like 20% in fruit and said, yeah, this is fruited sour. No, we want to make a fruit with sour, like legit breakfast or lunch. Yeah, that is the point, or dessert. Yeah, because this is really, really sweet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you get it. You have the sweetness is like the real sweetness. Yeah.
No, I mean, as I said, so for those of you watching back in Sweden, this is very much like what Elm 11 do. So if you like, the Elm 11, the Duck Ponds, the Fermenterna beers, then I think
we could catch with them. So
yeah, no, I can get you in touch with one of the breweries at least. But yeah, no, if you like that, I think this is very much like their beers. This will go down very, very well in the Nordic countries for sure, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, you need to get exporting this up there because people will really like that for sure. Yeah.
Then you should try next beer we could try. This is the thickest beer we have ever produced. It's very, very thick. Maybe we could yeah, it is with banana, so it's so thick you can imagine.
Oh yeah,
you will try that. Yeah, because the bananas gave this so thick structure that it's just unbelievable.
But that's seriously good. I mean, I always think it's interesting because you go to different countries and you notice like little trends in their beers. Like for example, I find in Sweden, Denmark, Norway, I've found it's very difficult to beat the thickness of the mouthfeel in the Imperial Stouts there. And then Croatia's interesting because it's like, I think with Slovenia, for example, when you go there, their beers are always very oily and fruity in a sense. And I think it's cool to come here because with Croatia, I've not really been able to find a trend yet because lots of people are doing different things. Yeah. But I have to say, I did not expect that I'd be trying like Nordic sours in Croatia, if we can call it that. So yeah, guys, because I've seen some people in Untappd putting down these beers. Oh, this is a Nordic sour, but that's I don't know if that's going to stick or they're going to change it. Like the smoothie sour that you guys are saying smoothie sour. So
this trend started in the USA like 2 years before, and it's not still. It's really, really good. Like I mean, the trend is still going on. Like really, really good, and a lot of breweries still are making new sours, new smoothie style sours. So I don't think that this trend will end this year or maybe next year because there's so many combinations of fruit, so many fruit to experiment that like I think there's going to be like 3 or 4 or 5 years still going. Like similar thing with the hazy IPAs, New England IPAs. It's still trendy. Everybody do it, but not everybody in here.
Can I ask you guys then? Because I've been saying in the videos we've got so many New England IPA breweries. I miss the West Coasters to a degree. What do you guys feel about that? Do you? Because you got
we do the Death by IBU. That's the West Coast IPA. It was the best beer in Croatia in 2019.
It's double IPA.
It's double.
True West Coast double IPA. But what we do the West Coast styles, not mainly. We follow the trends in the world, and we do more hazy IPAs, New England IPAs than the West Coast. But we do love, all of us love West Coast. But
the trend, then you have to follow the trends. But not always, but for the IPAs, that's the if you want to sell it, you have to do something.
And some countries that buy our beers from like Spain, Italy, Finland now, Netherlands, and France. They want more hazy IPAs from us, and that's not the main reason, but it's the reason why we do more hazy IPAs than true West Coast. We do love true West Coast, but like 20% of our production is West Coast. More to the hazy.
Oh, yeah.
But actually, yeah, we have a pretty good West Coast. Yeah, we like to do it proper way. Bitter, spicy.
That's how it should be. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of annoys me a little bit now. You get these West Coast IPAs, but they've got no bitterness to them. I'm just like,
Something between.
I get so when I see a West Coast IPA, I get so excited, and then I taste it, I'm like, where's the 100 IBUs? Where is that? So yeah, no, that's one of the things I'm always just like, oh, I know. But it's not that it tastes bad. You just want that big bitter.
Yeah, you're expecting something different. Yeah, you want the.
Yeah, because I mean, I got into beer, Schlenkerla, the Rauch beer. I got into it through that, and then Brewdog. I studied in Scotland, so Brewdog was kicking off then. Hardcore IPA, punk IPA. It was those were the big things.
Was the thing.
Yeah, that was the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was I've been, making videos since like 2013. So it's
nice, man.
It's kind of this is kind of it. So it's been really cool.
10 years.
Yeah, nearly 10 years. Yeah, it's crazy.
Congratulations.
A hobby that got out of hand. I guess kind of like you guys as well. A homebrewing hobby that got out of hand. But
maybe.
Yeah. But no, this is pretty awesome. I guess this is. I mean, as I say, for those of you watching in Sweden, most of my reviews are Swedish, Danish beers these days. If you like Elm 11, Duck Pond, Fermenterna, these sour beers are definitely on par with those for sure. The other one that comes to mind is Coolhead from Finland, because they are getting a bit more throughout Europe now. So if you like these kind of beers, keep an eye out for the Pulfer sweet sours, Nordic sours, smoothie sours, whatever we're calling them these days.
Yeah.
These are really good.
I don't know if Ozzy told you, but we have a distributor there in Finland. Maybe they could. The guys who want to try our beers, they could contact them and buy some beers if they want to try.
Yeah, because the very difficult thing in the Nordic countries is you can't really buy beers privately. It has to go through the
we have that.
Bummer.
We are Finland and Swedish partner.
Yeah, because the thing to do for you guys would be set up a web shop and then find something like that, because people will buy it and just get it delivered. Because you can buy beer privately and get it delivered, but you can't buy it from a shop in the country. So that's the way around that. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But guys, I'm going to say straight away, I can see why this beer has such high ratings. This is, as I say,
it's
awesome.
You know what's a good thing about the sour, smooth sour style? Because we approach to the women like a lot of women like to try the real the smoothie style beer. Like it's more than a fruit. Yeah. So how to say it? Как bi rekao da smo ženama to tako?
Yeah, well, the women doesn't like a lot of women don't like the bitterness in the beer.
Okay.
And so we did this. When I talking to somebody with some knowledge of beer, I tell them, forget everything you know about beer and try this, and then you will have the best experience.
Oh yeah.
Because as I said, we only had lagers and we had a lager country. And then when I say I have a beer with fruit, a lot of people are no, it's something that is not good. But I say forget everything about what you know about beer and try this, and you'll see that I'm doing something cool.
Yeah.
Try new things. That's the main reason.
Exactly. I mean, I had the same thing with my mum. I try all these beers from all over the place. I gave my mum a few of the Elm 11 things in Scotland. We also have a brewery now, Vault City, and Holy Goat, who are doing they're a bit different from this, because I'm guessing in these sour beers, do you guys use hops? Or are these like non-hop sour beers?
Non-hop.
Non-hop, yeah.
Yeah, it has little hops just for bitterness to balance the sugars, but it's not hop-forward beer.
Oh yeah. Because this is I talk about this quite often in the sour beer, because some breweries like Vault City like to use a bit of hop to give you some kind of
Bitterness?
yeah, to give you a little bit of that kind of depth thing. But the Nordic breweries tend not to use it.
Just juice.
Yeah, exactly. But I had the same thing. My mum doesn't like beer, but I gave her some of the Vault City ones, and she's like, "This is actually quite nice, like a triple mango sour and stuff like this," and she actually quite enjoyed it. She's like, "Yeah, there you go." But yeah, no, that's seriously good.
Thanks, man.
I love it. Like I've really got into it took me a while to get into sour beers. Like Rodenbach kind of let me in, and then from there it's just kind of, you go to the Lambics, and then these kind of smoothie sour beers. These are really good. So yeah, guys, I'm going to say Pulfer. This is definitely a brewery to kind of watch out for over the next little while. And this one, what day do chickens hate the most? This is pretty cool. So yeah, I think the one thing I would say is make sure you do that beer again, because it'd be a bit of a shame if this is only a one-off, because it is very good.
We'll think about it. We have so much new combinations of the fruit and so much plans. Maybe we will make a beer, like 5 beers per year, just for to repeat some good ones.
Oh yeah.
Maybe. Let's see, maybe, but we'll see.
I think that's a good thing, because that is the one. As I would, as a sort of beer enthusiast who went a bit crazy. That is one of the things, is if you find a really good beer that a brewery's done, it is a little bit frustrating almost. Like, oh, when are you going to do this again? Do this again? Do this again? And it never appears. That's one of the things. But again, the other one that we had, the Hefeweizen. This is very good. You're not going to be short of good beers from Pulfer. So yeah, at the same time, you might be like, this is good, but then you might make something better. You never know.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's the fun part, man.
Exactly.
Can we do it better next time?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, this is really good. But no, thanks for taking the time to. Brewers and people in breweries are always very, very busy. I turned up, as I say, looked quite sweaty outside, and I was like, oh, I thought there was a tap room here, but no.
There you go.
Yeah. But no, thank you guys for taking the time and to sit down.
Thank you for coming.
Chat a little bit with the beers and things. Yeah.
Cheers,
So
man.
I'll send you the video and things when it's all edited together. And cool. All right. So guys, I'll do a wee bit outside and let you see what the brewery looks like outside. But yeah, Pulfer Brewery from Zagreb. I need to put it there so it focuses. Yeah, Pulfer Brewery, Zagreb, Croatia. A brewery that I think would do very, very well in the Nordic market. So catch you guys in just a second. Alright guys, well, our final tasting then here at Pulfer Brewery. So Gina gave me a little sample of their upcoming Imperial Stout straight out the tank, which was very, very awesome of them. So this guy comes in at 11.5% ABV. It's going to be aged in 3 different kinds of barrels, and they're going to add like vanilla and tonka beans and stuff like to it as well. So in the end, they are going to have about 5 or 6 different varieties of this thing. But yeah, they haven't released this beer at all yet. It doesn't have a name. It will be released in about a year's time, something like that. So very, very cool to be able to have a little taste of this one and describe it for you in its kind of raw form, if you like. So yeah, there you can see the lovely Pulfer glass. But yeah, you can see dark ebony rosewood colour, which is exactly what you'd expect of an Imperial Stout. When he poured it straight out of the tank, there was no head on it, but you can imagine this thing at 11.5% ABV, it's not going to have much in the way of a head. But yeah, I'm sure this is going to be an absolute monster. So let's have a little look at the aroma of this one then and see how we go. Oh yeah, straight away, this beer, you can smell this is just absolutely crazy. This beer's undergone a very, very long wort boil. You get that right away with it. So, a little bit of bread crust in this one, a little bit of toasty, roasty, toasty, well-fired thing. I'm sure that Gina said that this was like a Russian Imperial Stout, so it leans toward that more bitter, well-fired side of the spectrum. So yeah, you get a little bit of that roasty, toasty, well-fired bread crust out of the beer, but you also have so much else going on. You've got a little bit of woodiness in there, you've got a little bit of tobacco, some nutty character, but a lot of chocolate. You're getting a sort of 60-70% cocoa chocolate for sure.
yeah, 60-70% cocoa chocolate, lots of highly caramelized sugars, you know, that sort of leathery, yeah, you're getting that kind of, you know, leathery treacle molasses, a bit of sweeter caramel, but also some nice kind of McVitie's digestive biscuity notes. Yeah, the colour, the aroma that you get off of this one is just incredible. It's a really lovely smelling beer, no doubt in my mind about that. Yeah, there's a little touch of licorice to it, I think, comes out a wee bit later on too. Yeah, beautiful malty backbone to this one. You can't ask for much more of an Imperial Stout. On the hoppy side of things, you know, there's a little bit of earthiness, there's a little bit of grassiness too. Not too much in the way of floral character, but yeah, this is just a lovely smelling beer. The more that I smell of it, I get a sort of, how would you say, like a sort of chocolate brownie type thing going on. But yeah, the fruity side of this one is very nice. You get a little bit of a, you know, sharper raisiny note to it. You get a little bit of, you know, you get a little bit of blackcurrant, a little bit of blackberry. But yeah, you get that kind of dried, daty, pruny sort of thing to this beer. It's very much got like a kind of chocolate cake type vibe to it, this beer. But it smells pretty sensational, I have to say. It's a lovely smelling beer, this one. So I think we need to have a taste of this and see how we go. So yeah, this is the as of yet unnamed Imperial Stout from Pulfer Brewery here in Zagreb. Let's have a taste of this. Slange Skål Ziviali. Ooh, that is an absolute monster. It tastes absolutely lovely. You know, in Sweden we often talk about how Imperial Stouts, you know, nerd brewing, are the ones we're always compared to. That Imperial Stout is up there with those. This is lovely. If you release that as it is now, it's great. I mean, I would be tempted to say to them, you know, go and brew a second batch and, you know, release one as it is and then, you know, play around with the second batch. But this is beautiful. Very nice beer for sure. Yeah, where to start with this? So, backbone of the beer then, the malty backbone, you certainly get a little bit of that roasty, toasty, well-fired bread crust there. That's forming the backbone of the beer. On top of that, you have some really nice, yeah, you have some really nice big kind of brown rye bready characters coming out of the beer. It goes together so well. Yeah, well-fired bread crust, brown bread characters. And then, yeah, you know, further forward on that middle third of the palate, you're getting a little bit of woodiness, a little bit of nuttiness. There's a wee touch of tobacco in there, but you know, that big rye bready character really dominates in this one. This is a very nice tasting beer. You can certainly taste in the middle of the palate, though, you've got those big, highly caramelized brown sugars coming out of it. Yeah, dead centre of the palate, you've got that big treacly molasses note. As you move further, it gets a little bit sweeter and caramelly. Toward the edge, you've got that McVitie's digestive biscuity sort of thing. But yeah, it goes together so nicely, this one in the middle of the palate. You know, the further you go into the aftertaste, a bit more woodiness, a bit more nuttiness. It's just lovely, it really is. On the back third of the palate, you get a little bit more breadiness, a little bit more cakiness and things. And it shows more of the yeasty side of the beer, but can't compliment that Imperial Stout enough. It is a bit of a shame that they haven't brewed a second batch of this. Release one of it, you know, release one batch normally, in my opinion, then play around with a second batch and do all the different experimental things to it. Lovely beer. On the hoppy side of things, back corners of the palate, it's a little bit sort of earthy. As you move further forward, a little bit more herbal. There's a wee touch of kind of floral character to it as well. And round the front curve of the palate, you've got a little bit of a lighter grassy sort of thing. But let's focus on the front third of the palate and the kind of fruity side of the beer. Yeah, front third of the palate, lovely bit of brown bread underneath. There is definitely a little bit of a kind of cakey note to it as well. Yeah, lovely little bit of that, you know. It's almost like when you bake something and you've got that bit of brown sugar just caramelized on the edge of the tray. That's what this beer's like. So back of that front third of the palate, you've got that big kind of cakey sort of note to this one, like a fruit loaf. That's what forms the back of the back of that front third of your palate. As you move further forward though, you get a little bit of that DT kind of note underneath, but certainly some sharp raisins, a little bit of prune, but then a bit of oily figgy character as well. Then as you move further forward, blackberries, black currants, and so on. So yeah, lots of nice red fruity characters there too. The front of that front third of your palate is really black curranty and kind of juicy, to be honest with you. But that's a beautiful Imperial Stout. This would do very well without any playing with it, to be quite honest with you. In terms of mouthfeel then, to round off, full bodied, top end of full bodied, smooth carbonation, very, very thick and very oily. IBU wise, it's a bit difficult to say, to be honest with you. It's got a bit of dryness from the malt, but it's very, very thick and sticky and caramelly. Yeah, I'd say maybe about 50 IBUs, 60 IBUs, something like that, you know, bit of dryness, bit of roasty toastiness and so on. But yeah, big, thick, malty base to it, lots of sweet brown sugars, but a little bit toasty at the same time, and some nice red fruity notes. But yeah, that is the end of your final tasting then here at Pulfer Brewery, and to end on something big and dark and thick like this, I think is pretty good. So I'll give you my final thoughts then, but this is a lovely, lovely beer, the as of yet unnamed Imperial Stout at 11.5% ABV. So keep your eye out for this one with all its different variants in about a year or so. Catch you guys in just a second. Cheers. Alright guys, well, time to finish up here at Pulfer Brewery in Žitnjak in the southeastern part of Zagreb. So yeah, I had a really, really nice time here. Unfortunately, contrary to what I had heard, they don't have a tap room at the brewery, but when I turned up and just said what I was doing, they were very, very accommodating. They gave me some cans of beer to try, they sat down with me, they talked about the brewery as you saw, and I thought that was really awesome. You know, brewers are very, very busy people, but you know, the guys took the time to sit and chat to me and show me around the brewery and all this kind of thing. So I can't compliment Pulfer Brewery enough. And like I said in a few of the tasting videos that we did, these guys are very good when it comes to the conventional side of things, you know, the New England pale ales, the lagers, but they're doing some really kind of quirky sours and stuff like this. So in my opinion, this is one of the Croatian breweries that you're going to hear about quite a lot over the next little while. So if you get the chance to try some of the beers from Pulfer Brewery, I really recommend that you do. So guys, I hope you enjoyed another little out and about video here, and it's been really nice to do this one. Actually, this one turned out quite different from what I thought it was going to be, but yeah, I really enjoyed filming this one. So check out my social media, check out Pulfer Brewery's social media, show your support to the Croatian craft beer scene, and I'll catch you guys in another out and about video very, very soon. Slange, skål, cheers, živeli.